Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and in this video, I'm going to be doing something that, I thought that I should do, and I'm going to explain why. So if you guys know, and you probably do know, because if you don't know, then you're not a real movie fan. In December, The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies is coming out. And if you guys know me, you know that I have never seen a Lord of the Rings movie. You know that I've never seen one. And I've never seen any of the Lord of the Rings movies or the Hobbit movies. And today, I had off from school. I didn't have school, and I really wanted something to do with my time that was productive, because I had no schoolwork or anything, because it snowed and everything. So I decided that I would start reviewing the Lord of the Rings movies, the Middle Earth, Saga. That's what this playlist says, Middle Earth Saga, to you right now, starting with the Lord of the Rings movies. Now, I know I should start with the Hobbit movies, but I figured I'd start with the Lord of the Rings movies because they came first, so I decided I'd start with them. And, basically, I know what you guys are saying. Why would you wait till the last movie of the entire franchise to review this series? First of all, guys, I want you guys to know something. I have put off watching these movies for years now, and I don't know why. I don't know why I have put off watching these. For whatever reason, I have not watched them. I was planning on watching the Hobbit movie last year, Desolation of Smaug, but I didn't, Desolation of Smaug. I didn't watch it, though, and I don't know why, and I should have. And I finally watched them, and I'm finally going to review it to you, and of course, in this video, I will be reviewing The Fellowship of the Ring. Now, as I said, I've really been wanting to see this series. It's been a series I've definitely been very interested in, and especially after watching Game of Thrones, I've been very interested in this, because I heard this was kind of like the original Game of Thrones. And I am so happy that I started watching this series, because The Fellowship of the Ring is an absolute masterpiece. It is a fantastic movie. It is a movie that if you guys have not seen it, you definitely need to check it out, because it is an absolute, if you guys have not seen it, it is the perfect way to start off this franchise. I think it's probably, this is probably going to end up being my favorite franchise. I can already tell. And let's just get to what this movie's about. The basic plot of Lord of the Rings is a very complex plot of, basically what's going on here. Basically, a long time ago, in Middle Earth, we kind of get this prologue to it, which is like a 5-minute prologue, which I really like. By the way, guys, if you guys can't tell, I watched the extended versions. I have the theatrical and the extended. I figured I'd watch the extended because I heard things that happen in the movie make more sense if you watch the extended versions. So I decided I would. And, yeah, so just so you guys know, I'm reviewing the extended edition and not the theatrical version. I know a lot of people like the theatrical version, but I'm going to review the extended edition. So, long story short, there was this huge war between elves and, this guy, Sauron. Sauron died thousands of years ago, but before he died, he made this ring, and the ring is still available, and whoever finds this ring, Sauron's soul is in. So, it is now in the power of Bilbo Baggins, who is, a hobbit, and hobbits don't really have the most exciting lives. Hobbits are basically just very calm people. They're very calm, they're very laid back, they don't have any drama in their life, The movie opens, we see, like, this very, like, bright, colorful town. They really don't have any problems or anything. So, one day, Gandalf comes to see Bilbo to tell him that they need to destroy this ring, because, Bilbo, it's sort of making him too powerful and everything, and basically, whoever has this ring, it turns them into a different person. So he takes Bilbo's nephew, Frodo, who, on this quest to basically destroy the ring, and Gandalf and Frodo end up making this alliance called the Fellowship to take down whoever has the ring. It's now being held by this guy, Mordu, who is a very, very powerful lord, who has and everything, not lord, but like, what's, Mordor? Mordor, that's his name. He has the ring, it's a very hard movie to explain, okay? I'm trying to explain as best I can, but basically, they need to find Mordor, who has the ring, and destroy the ring, and that's basically what the movie's about. It's about them going on that quest, in the beginning of that quest. And that's basically what the whole series is about, but that's what this particular one is about, sort of like the quests they go on in the beginning of that. And I'm going to get to you what I really think of it, but let's first talk about the acting in this movie. And the plot, by the way, guys, is one of the most interesting plots to a franchise ever, in my opinion, because the thing about the ring is that everybody really wants this ring. First of all, the ring is very powerful. It's very powerful in the sense that it is very powerful, and it kind of turns you into a different person. I didn't know that, and I think that definitely is something that I find very interesting, and this is definitely a book I want to read. At some point, I want to read these books. I want to find, I want to read these books. I want to know the basic story and things like that, and I really, really would like to read these books. There are a lot of, movie to book that I'm like, I really want to read the books, but to this, I want to read the books these. I want to see what happens in the books that are different from the movies. But let's talk about the acting in this movie. Everyone in this movie is spot on. Every single character is perfectly casted. There's no bad acting in this movie, but let's get into each one. Let's get in depth here. First of all, our main star here is Elijah Wood as Frodo, and he is absolutely fantastic. He is a fantastic role, and Elijah Wood really was the perfect person to play Frodo. I mean, Frodo, when Elijah Wood auditioned for this, he was only 18 years old. This really was the breakout role for him, and he really did an amazing job in this movie. First of all, he did the perfect portrayal of Frodo. Frodo really is this guy who hasn't had any drama in his life, and all of a sudden, he has all this drama, and, the way Elijah Wood just played that was perfect, because you can see that this guy really doesn't want to go on this quest at first, and doesn't really want to be, he really doesn't want to go on this quest. He's happy about being the Hobbit and everything, and he's not really used to any sort of drama, so when this drama starts to happen, everything, he's very surprised. You can definitely see that with him, and Frodo really does transform in this movie, and I really thought they did a great job portraying him. I definitely really enjoyed that. Then we have Ian McKellen as Gandalf. This guy's awesome, okay? He is absolutely awesome to watch. One of the things I love about Gandalf is just how awesome he is. The way he's introduced, it's just perfect. He's introduced in a very awesome way. Just the way he's introduced, I thought was awesome, basically. And, it's so awesome the way he's introduced. I mean, basically, we see that Saruman, reveals himself to be in service to Sauron, and he imprisons Gandalf, and basically, Gandalf rides to meet with the head of his order and everything, and it was very cool the way Gandalf was introduced. I mean, it's actually very funny the way he's introduced. One of the things I like about this movie, the beginning of this movie is very funny, it's very slow-paced, but it's more sort of like a fun tone, so it kind of changes throughout it, and the way Gandalf's introduced is just hilarious, because basically, we see Samwise Gamgee eavesdropping underneath the window, and that's how he's introduced. I think it definitely is very funny. But once he comes into the movie, you realize how awesome he is. You realize how much he cares about this ring. Sort of one of the other things I like is you sort of realize that him and Bilbo have some sort of partnership going on, and I definitely really love that about Gandalf. He really does. He also really transforms in the movie, and he did an amazing job. Then we have Viggo Mortensen as Aragorn. Fantastic as well. The way he's introduced, I love. He ends up saving Frodo and some of the people Frodo's, that's going on this quest with Frodo. He ends up saving them, basically. And he is probably, everyone says he's the best character in this. I'd have to agree. He's an awesome character. Because basically his character is that, there's this girl that he really, really likes. There's this girl that he's in this relationship with, Arwen. And they have this relationship going on. But there's also the whole thing of his father died, and basically his father wants him to, be the head of the throne and basically become the king. So, of course, there's that, question of, is he going to become the king? What's going to happen with his character? And he really is such a badass character. A lot of people compared him to Han Solo in Star Wars, and he appears the same exact way as Han Solo does. He comes in the second half of the movie, but once he's there, he is absolutely amazing, and I thought he was just fantastic in this movie. Absolutely fantastic. Loved his role. Sean Astin as Sam. He is Frodo's best friend. And what's interesting about his character, I didn't know this about Sean Astin, is that he had recently become a father. So, because of this, he bonded with Elijah Wood in a protective manner, and that is why they have such a good relationship, because not only do they have a good relationship on screen, but also off screen. So they really, when you see them being so protective of each other, it's real, because they really care about each other that much, and I think it's really cool the way they portrayed that, because it was very well done in my opinion. I definitely really love that, because that was amazing. Liv Tyler as Arwen is great as well. That's basically Aragorn's lover. She's very good. And then we have Galadriel, played by Kate Blanchett, and she is the cold ruler against her husband Celeborn. And there are a whole bunch of other characters I could talk about, but also Sean Bean's in this movie. We'll talk about some of the other characters a little bit later, but there's literally so many people I could talk about in this movie, but I'm not going to. Orlando Bloom's in this movie. He's great. Hugo Weaving's in it. Christopher Lee. I mean, so many great people. Andy Serkis is Gollum. One of the things I love about Gollum in this movie is we actually don't see Gollum. We hear about him. We see small glimpses of him, but we don't really know anything about Gollum. All we know is that Gollum wants the ring. He's very selfish. He's very, he's very selfish, basically. And the only thing you can hear is in Mordor is when his voice is shouting, and in Moira when his eyes and nose appear. That's really the only thing we know about him. And I think that's very well done, the way they portray that. And I know we see him in the Two Towers, but I think it's very well done, the way they portrayed, Gollum in that. I thought that was definitely very well, very approached very, very well. Another thing that's really great about this movie, of course, is the amazing directing by Peter Jackson. We need to give it up for him, because this is grade A directing. This is awesome directing. Peter Jackson knows how to direct a fantasy film. And really, everyone says Peter Jackson was perfect with this, and I completely agree. He completely knows what he's doing. He is absolutely amazing with this directing, because the way he decided to portray the characters, portray the scenery, just everything he did was absolutely fantastic. One of the other things I love that he did is that Lord of the Rings is split into 3 books, but the thing is, if you haven't read the books, there are things that you don't expect to see to, like, the second or third book, and we see them in this movie. One thing in particular that I definitely want to talk about that I didn't think we were going to see, that I'll get to in the spoilers, which there are tons of spoilers to talk about, but I thought he definitely did a very good job with that, and I definitely really enjoyed that. Also, if you guys check out the extended edition, one of the things I love, and I don't know if this is Peter Jackson's edition or not, but if you get the DVD, the extended version, I don't know if you guys, I don't have this on Blu-ray. I know, you guys can say whatever you want. It's really expensive, guys. That's why I don't have it on Blu-ray. But if you guys don't know this, if you watch the extended edition, Peter Jackson actually split it into 2 perfect halves. And one of the things I love is that the end of the first half is when the Fellowship is formed. And the slow pacing is absolutely perfect, and it was absolutely perfect the way he did it, and just the way he portrayed everything was absolutely fantastic. He was great with that directing. I believe that there were some Oscars with this. I'm not sure. The film did win 4 Academy Awards. It won Best Cinematography, Best Visual Effects, Best Makeup, and Best Original Score, which, let's talk about the cinematography. Oh my god, guys, this cinematography is amazing. First of all, this movie took 1 year to shoot. I'm not kidding you guys. 1 year, and they built an actual town called Hobbington. That is how dedicated they were to this movie. They built an actual town called Hobbington. You can still check it out if you go to New Zealand, and yes, they actually did film this movie in New Zealand. If you go to New Zealand right now, you can find that town Hobbington, and you can basically, it's a tourist attraction. There's no one living there, but it's a really nice tourist attraction if you ever go to New Zealand. So I think it definitely is very interesting. But the cinematography is absolutely gorgeous. This is some of the best cinematography I have ever seen in my life. I love the cinematography of this movie. It is just a gorgeous cinematography throughout the whole movie. If you're not enjoying the story, or you're not really into the story or whatever, which I don't know how you would not be into the story, because the screenplay is one of the best screenplays ever, the cinematography will make you into this movie, because it's so stunning to look at. Every time they go somewhere else on this quest, the cinematography just gets more and more amazing, and I love the way cinematography is done. Even, like, the way the elves are portrayed. If you guys don't know, hobbits are basically midget creatures. Gandalf is what you and I look like. So the reason Gandalf is so tall is because it's in the perspective of Frodo, where he is really like this small creature, but Gandalf is really just the size of you and I, basically. So I think that definitely is very interesting, the way they did that as well. And awesome cinematography, just awesome cinematography. Now let's talk about the editing to these movies. The editing is absolutely fantastic, and that is surprising, because if you guys know The Lord of the Rings, you know these movies are not short. They are long. They're not short movies at all. They are very long movies. They take a lot of time to get going, but the editing really is perfect to this movie. I had no problems with the editing. At no point did this movie feel slow. At no point, really. I was into this movie the entire time, and I was very happy about that. And I was worried that I wouldn't be as into it, because I was watching the extended version. But no, you guys watch the extended edition, it is just as good as watching the theatrical. In fact, I say it adds something, because it adds stuff to it. It makes you more interested in it, and I definitely really enjoyed that. The cinematography, the editing was perfect in this movie. Really have no problems with it at all. And the score. Oh my god, that score. You can never forget that score. That is one of the best scores I have ever heard in my entire life. The score is by Howard Shore. He won the Academy Award for it. He definitely deserved it because the way that score is done is just perfect. I love the score. It's played throughout the whole movie, and the whole time you are so amazed by that score, and it really shows you how epic the Hobbit, not the Hobbit, but the Middle Earth series really is. And I really do love that. I think that absolutely is fantastic. So let's get to the spoilers of this movie. There's tons of stuff to talk about, but I'm not going to talk about everything that happens because I'm sure you guys have seen these movies. If you guys have not seen Lord of the Rings movies, pause this video now and watch them, okay? Don't be like me and say, I don't want to watch them because of the length, which is literally the reason why I didn't want to watch it was because of the editing, which is really stupid. Watch it right now because if you guys don't watch these movies, you guys are not a true movie fan, okay? You're not. But let's talk about what happens in Fellowship of the Ring. First of all, Gandalf dies, which I was very surprised about. I did not expect Gandalf to die in the Fellowship of the Ring, but I heard he comes back. So I mean, that's not much of a spoiler considering he's on the cover of the poster. Like, I don't know who decided to do that, but why would you put a guy who died in the first movie and then put him on the cover of the second movie? Like, why would you do that? He's such an important character, and just like, why would you do that? It doesn't make sense. Especially for people who haven't read the books like me. I don't read the books, so why would you do that? And then, of course, we get the really awesome battle sequence when they arrive at Parth Gallon. That was a really awesome sequence, definitely. And then the end of the movie, I actually really love the way the movie ends, because basically Sam finds Frodo, and Aragorn, Legolas, and Gilmy realize that Frodo has to walk a different path, and instead decides to rescue Merry and Pippin. And Frodo and Sam, they gaze out at the land before them, and they grieve over the others. You know, they're grieving over everyone. And he says that he's glad that Sam is with him, and the two hobbits, you know, set off towards Mordor. And it's really sets you up for the next movie. The way that the movie ends was just perfect. I love the way it ends. Also, of course, we gotta talk about Boromir. It's Sean Bean. What do you guys expect? You know that Sean Bean is going to die in this movie. He dies in everything, okay? He dies in literally everything he's in. So that's not a shock to me that he died at all. When I saw him on screen, I knew he was going to die because he dies in every kind of fantasy movie that he's in. That's just the way Sean Bean is. But the way his death is handled is just so well done. Basically, if you guys don't, it's the way it's done is so well done. You know, he gets the ring, and I love the story of how he dies, because it's not like he dies just to die, okay? They give reasons for his characters to die, which I like. It's not just like, even though we make fun of it, it makes sense why his characters die. Basically, he ends up getting the ring, trying to take it from Frodo, and he realizes that because of how powerful he is, and because of how dangerous he is, that he ends up basically sacrificing himself, and he's killed. And I thought it was a very well done death scene. I was like, wow, I'm very surprised by how well this is done. I definitely really enjoyed that. I thought that was extremely well done. I definitely really, really love that. Also, this movie has so many quotable lines. Gandalf's death, of course, has "Thou shalt not pass" before he dies. So that's amazing. And I love the way the movie ends. It really sets you up perfectly for the second movie, and I love that about the Fellowship of the Ring. But that's basically my review of the Fellowship of the Ring. Let me know what you guys think of this movie. I know this was a very long review, but there's tons of stuff to talk about. I'm pretty sure my Return of the King review is going to be very, very long, because I know that movie's like 200 minutes long, and I am watching the extended version, which I heard is like 6 hours long. Oh my god. But, I love these movies. I encourage you guys, I implore you, please watch these movies. Do not think they're just too long. Do not think that they're going to be boring. Do not think that they're going to drag on. These movies are never long. They need to be, these movies are long for a reason. They need to be long, and that's why they're so long. But that's basically my review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think of this movie. I'm sure a lot of you are going to be very happy that I started the Middle Earth Saga. The reason I started watching Lord of the Rings movies is because I commented, I listened to the Hobbit, the Battle of the Five Armies soundtrack song, which honestly, guys, put me to tears, even though I've never seen the movie, so I already can tell it's going to be so effective when I actually see the movie. The reason that I started watching this is because I commented on that, and people said, you gotta watch it now. So I did, and I'm very happy I did, because it really is a fantastic movie. But then what you guys think of this movie? What's your favorites of the Middle Earth movies? The Lord of the Rings movies. I know a lot of you are probably gonna say Return of the King. And I'll see you guys in my next video, which will probably be for my review of the Two Towers, because there's nothing on TV tonight. There's no Arrow, there's no American Horror Story. I know it's really sad, but there's no American Horror Story, there's no Arrow. I'm watching a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, so I'm not watching the Two Towers tonight. I'm not going to torture myself that much. I mean, this took a very long time to watch. Okay, guys, I'm cooking something for Thanksgiving dinner. This took me like 5 hours to watch. I mean, it should have taken me only like 2 hours. But also, guys, one other thing I have to ask: why are the credits so long in this movie? Like, I'm not joking. The second half of this movie, it says 2 hours and 2 minutes, and it goes by an hour and 36 minutes, and I'm thinking, we still have like 40 minutes left. There was like 40 minutes of credits in this movie. Probably because of the directing and how much, how long the movie took, but still, why is it so long? I'll see you guys in my next video, though, which will probably be for a review of the Two Towers, so I will see you guys for that, okay? And also, guys, when I am done with the Lord of the Rings movies, I will be going back to reviewing 2014 movies, but I'll see you guys, in my next video, okay? And by the way, guys, if I don't see you guys tomorrow, which I'm not sure if I will, have a great Thanksgiving, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Okay, bye.